Chapter 10, Thursday, Thursday. Welcome to the Thursday celebration. Programme of events. 9 o'clock, hammer throwing for the over 60s only. Meet up at the Marooners Rock with your own hammer or somebody else's. Hard hats essential for spectators. 10:30, how many girls' eggs can you eat in 1 minute? Baggy Bum the Bear Belly is the defending champion in this hotly contested competition. 11:30, ugliest baby contest. 12:30, axe fighting display. Admire the delicate art of fighting with axes. 2 o'clock, young heroes final initiation test. Watch tomorrow's Viking heroes as they compete. Whose dragon will be the most obedient and whose will catch the most fish? Blood, teeth, loud yelling. This sport has everything. 3:30, grand raffle and closing ceremony. The Thursday celebration were truly a spectacular occasion. The hairy hooligans, fierce rivals, the meatheads from the nearby Meathead Islands, sailed across the inner ocean to the Isle of Burke for this great gathering. The visitors set up camp in Black Heart Bay, which turned overnight from an empty desert of echoing seagulls into a bustling village of tents made out of sails too patched to be used at sea anymore. By the next morning, the long beach was packed with stalls and jugglers and fortune-tellers. There was a happy confusion of Vikings spotting old friends and practicing their swordplay and yelling at the children to stop hitting each other right now. For Thor's sake, no, I really mean it this time, or else. Vast Viking men sat on uncomfortable rocks, guffawing loudly like gigantic sea lions in a holiday mood. Impressively large Viking women huddled in groups, cackling like seagulls and downing whole mugs of tea in one swallow. Despite old Wrinkly's gloomy forecast of terrible storms and typhoons, it was a glorious hot June day with not a hint of a cloud in the offing. The young hero's final initiation test would not start until 2 p.m. that afternoon, so Hiccup spent the morning listening round-eyed to storytellers telling tall tales of dirty Danes and pirate princesses. He was sick with nerves, so found it difficult to enjoy the occasion as much as he had done in previous years. Even Gobber, throwing up during the how many girls' eggs can you eat in 1 minute competition, failed to raise more than a faint smile on his pale, tense face. Hiccup's family had a picnic lunch overlooking the axe fighting display. Hiccup could not eat a thing, and nor, unusually, could Toothless, who was in a difficult mood and turned his nose up at the tuna sandwich Valhallarama offered. Good to keep your dragon's appetite sharp for the game, boomed Stoic, the Vast, who was in an excellent mood. He had won a bet on Goggletoad in the ugliest baby contest and was looking forward to seeing his son's brilliant display during the initiation test. As the day wore on, a hot wind suddenly started blowing out of nowhere. It was still sweltering, but ominous grey clouds were gathering on the horizon. There was the odd rumble of thunder in the air. Maybe old Wrinkly had been right, thought Hiccup as he gazed upwards, and Thor was going to put in his traditional appearance at the Thursday celebrations. Will all youths hoping to be initiated into the tribes this year please make their way to the ground at the left of the beach? Hiccup gulped, nudged Toothless and stood up. This was it. Hiccup was one of the last to get to the ground, which was a large area of wet sand just at the edge of the sea. The boys from his own tribe were already assembled, their dragons hovering a couple of feet above them. Everybody was chattering excitedly, and even Snotlout was looking nervous. The Meathead boys and their dragons seemed to be gigantic, rough-looking customers, far tougher than the hooligans. One in particular was a great hulking brute of a boy who looked 15 at least. Hiccup presumed he was thuggery. Chief Mogadon, the meathead's son, because of a silver-grey monstrous nightmare about 3 feet tall, was perched on one of his shoulders. It was looking at Fireworm like a Rottweiler thinking evil thoughts. Fireworm acted unconcerned. An aristocrat never growls, purred Fireworm sweetly. You must be one of those mongrel nightmares. We pure green-bloods descend from the great Ripperclaw himself. Would never dream of doing anything so common. The silver nightmare's growling increased in volume. The crowd was assembling at the touchline. Hiccup tried not to notice Stoic the Vast blasting his way to the front with great cries of, "Out of my way! I'm a chief! 10 to 1, my son catches more fish than your son in this test," boomed Stoic, giving his old enemy, Mogadon the Meathead, a good prod in the stomach. Mogadon the Meathead narrowed his eyes and wondered whether to hit him. "Maybe after the test. And which," asked Mogadon the Meathead, "is your son? Is he the tall one who looks like a pig with the skeleton tattoos and the red monstrous nightmare?" "Nope," said Stoic happily. "That's my brother's. Baggybum's son. My son is that skinny one over there with the toothless daydream." Mogadon the Meathead broke into a big smile. He slapped Stoic on the back and yelled, "I take your bet and double it." "Done," shouted Stoic, and the 2 great chieftains shook hands and bumped bellies on the bet. Gobber the Belch was in charge of this final stage of the initiation test. He was still looking a bit green from his unpleasant experience in the "how many eggs can you eat in 1 minute?" competition. This had not improved his temper. "All right, you horrible lot," yelled Gobber. "This is where we find out if you are the stuff that heroes are made of. You will either walk out of this arena full members of the noble tribes of hairy hooligans and merciless meatheads, or go into miserable exile forever from the inner aisles. Let's see which it's going to be, shall we?" He grinned nastily at the 20 boys standing before him. "I shall begin by inspecting you and your animals as if you were warriors about to go into battle. I shall introduce you to the watching members of the tribes you hope to enter. Then the test will begin. You will demonstrate how you have asserted yourselves over these wild creatures and tamed them by the sheer force of your heroic personalities. You will start by performing the basic commands of go, stay, and fetch. You will end by ordering your reptile to hunt fish for you, as your forefathers have done before you." Hiccup swallowed nervously. "The boy and dragon who most impressed the judge, and that is me," Gobber bared his teeth grimly, "will receive the extra glory of being called the hero of heroes and most promising dragon. The boy and the dragon who fails this test will say farewell to their families forever and leave the tribe to go where we do not care." Gobber paused. "Poetry," muttered Fishlegs, just loud enough for Gobber to hear. Gobber glared at him. "Heroes or exiles?" yelled Gobber the Belch.